Hey artists, so this is a tutorial on how to add in hair for your mask or other paper creation. There's a couple of different ways to do this. One of them, you can kind of see part of it left over from here, but one part is to just cut out some interesting curvy kind of triangular shapes and just make one big piece of it and you can attach it on and there is some hair. Have it up, have it pushed down, however you want to handle it, you can do it that way. You could also cut smaller individual triangles, and that would also work for hair or fur. But what I want to show you for this is doing something a little bit extra, a little bit more. So with whatever paper you have, and I would honestly suggest using some scrap paper for this too, is to start by doing some folding. I'm going to split this in half too, because I'm going to end up using this whole thing. Fold your paper in half however many times you're able to still cut through it. So I folded in half twice. I think that's going to be enough for this. So I pretty much have 4 pieces of paper all together. Folding it will just let you cut up more at the same time, so you're not spending all your time individually cutting pieces. And then you're just going to start cutting some strips. However wide you want them to be, that's totally up to you. It can be nice to have some pieces that are a little wider, some that are a little thinner, but the thinner you make these, the more detailed it's going to end up looking. And we're not even going to worry about what the ends of them look like. It's okay if they're all different sizes, because your hair is not going to be all perfect length. You've got lots of different lengths of hair, unless you've just been to the hairdresser. But these are creatures, so they don't necessarily go to the hairdresser. So now I've just got a ton of strips. So I'm going to take my mask, and I'm just going to start adding some of this at the top. Now, if you have glue, I would still recommend using it, but what might be nice is to have some tape on hand too. Maybe just have a couple pieces torn and ready. So I'll just tear a couple small pieces, stick them up right here where they're easy to grab. Now you could go through a lot of tape, so you might want to try and get a couple pieces under each piece of tape, a couple pieces of paper under each tape. I'll show you what I mean. And take some glue, and I'm going to put just a little bit of glue just along the very edge. There you go. Just a little. And then, easy enough, I'm just going to start putting pieces of the hair down. So now you could sit around and hold on to every one of these pieces and press them down for 20 seconds to make sure they're stuck in place. But since we're moving fast, we're going to use the tape to help hold them down. And this is what I meant by having a couple pieces of paper for each strip of tape. A couple more. Piece of tape to help hold them in place. Let's see if I can brace you from slipping too much. Don't worry about how long each of your bits of hair are, because by the time you're done, then you can cut them into whatever size you want, whatever style you want. If you want to end up giving in some shorter bangs or some longer bangs, it's totally up to you. But don't worry too much about the length right from the beginning. Always go back and edit. So we'll start with these for now. Save you guys. We'll be using you later. So if your creature is meant to have hair that's going to go over the back of their head, you could just leave it just like this, so that when you wear it, that hair will go over the top and the back of your head. If you want it to come down to the front, all you need to do is start giving them a little fold over, little pinch. If you want it to really lie flat, you can put a little bit of glue underneath. I kind of like leaving it to fly a little bit loose. So it's still wanting to stick up a little bit. I'm going to show you another trick. And you can use this to make curvy and wavy hair as well. If you take your little strip of paper, pinch it so that you're kind of pushing down with your thumbnail, kind of like this. So like your thumbnail is kind of pushing down in between your pointer and middle finger. And you just carefully pull back along that, and it'll feel like you're scratching it with your thumb. That will start to give it a little bit of a curve. You can do that as many times as you want, depending on how much curl you want it to have. So that can take a little bit of time, but once you get the hang of it, and you can use your thumb, you can switch it, use your pointer finger too, and see how I'm pinching and pulling it, and that will give you some cool little curly bits of hair. So this is going to be a creature that has some very wild hair on it. But that is a real quick way of attaching some paper hair. And if you want to add a little bit of a curve to it, a little wave, little extra interest, so it's not just straight pieces of hair. That's how you do it. And you can add this all along the edges of your mask, all the way down to about where the ears would normally be. That would be a good place for where the hair would normally stop. If you have a character like a wolf or a lion that has a lot of fur around their head and neck, just keep going all the way to the bottom of your mask. There we go. It's a little odd just having it at the top, but we'll add some more in and keep going with it. And you guys will keep working on yours, and I can't wait to see what you come up with.